good?
Yep.
Okay. All right, it is Monday, May 19th, 2025 at 6 p.m., and we'll call our meeting to order. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent. Roll call.
Simonson,
Yes.
Rickrell, Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Coleman, Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett. Yes.
Okay, next, have an approval of tonight's agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Colister, seconded by Lyon. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett. Yes. Simonson.
Yes.
All right, next is public participation. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to get up and address the council? Anybody on Zoom? If not, we move on. Item 6, is presentations, and we have no presentations. Item 7 is a public hearing, and we have no public hearing. So we'll go to item 8, which is our consent agenda. We have the amended minutes from the April 21st, 2025 regular city council meeting, the minutes of the May 5th, 2025 regular city council meeting, bills payable through May 19th, 2025 in the amount of $2,016,346.91. A renewal of a special Class B retail native wine license to Make a Splash. Renewal of a C liquor alcohol license for the Fraternal Order of Eagles, number 3866. And a renewal of a Class B retail alcohol license for More Family Cheese Incorporated. Motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Bennett. No discussion, take the roll.
Colister,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett. Yes. Simonson,
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Okay, now we go on to new business. And item A is an ordinance adopting Chapter 99A Utility Improvement Fund of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Maquoketa, Iowa, and this is the third reading.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Colister, seconded by Bennett. Was there something you wanted to add, Josh?
I don't. This is the third reading of this, and I know you had several phone calls, Mayor, and I think this has been well covered by the paper, too. Same comments as last time, and I think this is ready to proceed.
Okay, then, take the roll.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett. Yes. Simonson,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
All right, that clears up the old business. We move on to new business. Item A is a resolution setting a public hearing for June 2nd, 2025 at 6 p.m. for 50% budget reimbursement benchmark review for the 23 CF003 Sunshine Learning Center project. Motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Bennett. Anything you want to add?
This is a routine CDBG proceeding to continue to allow us to make claims on that grant project. It's well past the 50% point, but it's a required processing item of the grant. So we look forward to having that public hearing and continuing on.
Okay. Go ahead and take the roll.
Bennett. Yes. Simonson,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
All right, that one passes. Item B is a resolution adopting an ADA improvement plan. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, and thank you, Councilman Lyon, who helped out tremendously with this project. So most grants that we obtain are usually backed by some form of a broader plan. The city had a challenge a number of years ago where it led to the city investing at least $10,000 a year out of our general fund for ADA and sidewalk to street improvements. This particular plan was built out to kind of give ourselves an organized approach to what we were going to be improving and why. Is a problem next to a park? Is it next to a school? How well trafficked is it? How bad are the conditions? And so we wanted to draft a plan that would give the guys down at Public Works an opportunity to put forth a good work order plan, as well as give us something to fall back on and if a grant opportunity arises, which this does. So we used a traffic light thinking model, meaning red is in bad condition. You know it when you see it that is not ADA compliant. Yellow, meh, cautionary in a way. and green meaning it qualifies as something that would follow the ADA standards in a way. We did not hire an engineer to do this. We listed out the specifications for what's required in an ADA compliance, and we turned it over to some data mining and getting some good photos and then mapping this out. So it did take some time to do. It took some time on my part. We reviewed it as staff at our Public Works Committee, and like I said, I thank Councilman Lyon for getting out and taking some good qualified photos of some of the improvements that are to be desired, and it's something that we look forward to executing, and hopefully in the next year, 2 years, it's a document that we can continue to readdress and recode some of those colors on the map so it turns out to be more green than red and yellow.
So moved.
Okay, we got a motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Alinger. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Simonson,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Hollister,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
All right, that passes. Item C is a resolution authorizing squad car purchase and upfit with Stivers Ford in the amount of $62,657.05.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Colister, seconded by Lyon.
Simonson.
Simonson, sorry, Simonson. And if there's no discussion, take the roll.
Lyon,
Yes.
Hollister,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
That passes. We'll move on to item D, which is a resolution authorizing Dittmer Recycling a contract extension. Go ahead.
moved.
Second.
Do we have any discussion here?
It's 3%.
3%? Okay, then take the roll.
I'm sorry, who moved on that?
I think that was Councilman Colister, and then second was,
Ginger. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Hollister,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Simonson,
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item E is a resolution approving department head salary increase. So go ahead.
thank you, Mayor. Next three items we reviewed at Finance and Personnel Committee. First being our annual department head salary increase, which is outside of our normal bargaining groups and what our city employees follow. This particular item is for our police chief, public works director, and library director. Library board did not meet until Wednesday of last week, but they're recommending 5%. We recommend 7.5% for John, and John has absolutely had his hands full and continues to be a good working manager. I think you all know that. And Chief Zimet, I think, is one of our best department heads and continues to do a very good job as well. And I drafted in your backup packet a larger salary survey with the help of the Dyersville study as well as what's out there to kind of give you some points of comfort that this isn't really outside the norm. This is more of a labor market issue for our department heads, and I would hate to see any of them go. I hope they never go. I hope they retire here. I just want to make sure that we're staying on track and rewarding them for good work.
So moved.
Okay. A motion by Colister, seconded by Bennett. If there's no discussion, take the roll.
So
Alinger?
Yes.
Is this 7.5 across the board, or is this 7.5 for the 2 and 5 for the library?
Good question. It's 7.5 for the police chief and the public works director. The library's director is 5%
Because of their committee?
because of their recommendation, yes.
We can't override that?
You could send it back. I don't know where that leads us, and if we can pass an amended resolution, and it'd be discussion probably at the library board that would develop.
I'm just asking.
Do they pay a portion of her salary? Is that
Oh, yeah.
split in the 20?
Yeah,
or the
so our
30?
general fund pays 42% of the library operations. So there's a cost split at the end of the fiscal year, and they own more than half of this cost.
I couldn't remember if that was part of the deal.
Sorry.
Okay, take the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Simonson,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Rickrell. I'm sorry, Hollister.
Okay, that passes. We can move on to item F, a resolution approving city manager's contract.
And here, council, this one's about me, and I separated myself from the department heads here because I'm seeking a compensation time bank. 3 weeks it's enough, but no, if I'm seeking to amend my contract here, I do seek a little bit more time to enjoy myself and a little bit of family time. So, as you noted in the wage comparables, I don't think I'm terribly out of place with that salary survey and sort of in the middle to middle upper end of what you observe in that. And the severance on this is currently listed at 4, finance and personnel, and my proposal to them was to have that go to 6 months. So that's what's before you. It was recommended by the Finance and Personnel Committee. I don't have anything further on this.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Colister, seconded by Bennett. If there's no discussion, take the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Simonson,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item G is a resolution approving the city administrator's job descriptions and pay scale. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. This one, we last addressed during late 2024, about October. You had a big chart of continuity and service tasks for our administration office, and we were unable to hire a community development manager. We no longer have a part-time secretary. Staff and I discussed the backup city manager portion of who takes what if I'm off for a prolonged amount of time. So the deputy city clerk gets those duties back, as well as finance clerk duties. We hired a full-time secretary, so that's in your backup packet as well. The utility clerk gets income offset and sales tax for water, as well as a possible ordinance that might be before you later for fire department billing for like accident coverage and some things that property taxes normally don't cover. So there's a couple of assigned duties there. I do want to recognize as well in the pay scale in this resolution that some of our comparables that you see in that chart were not incredibly higher, but higher than our utility clerks currently. And so my recommendation is to bring that closer together with this amendment. So my proposal as well is to adjust the utility clerk pay scale by $1 an hour on the front end, scaling up to $2.07 an hour on step 5, and that would put us in the range. So that's what's before you tonight. I would take questions on this. It took quite a bit of work to get to this point with the office, and we talked about this at Finance and Personnel Committee, who wanted it to come to council for a vote tonight.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Lyon, seconded by Bennett.
Caroline.
Oh, Carolyn.
Alinger.
Carolyn, I'm sorry. You guys sound so much alike. Do we have any discussion here? Then take the roll.
Simonson,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
No.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item H, resolution authorizing an evaporator coil replacement with Geesey sheet metal in the amount of $14,612 for the YMCA HVAC services. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Scott has a preventative, I shouldn't say Scott, the YMCA here has a preventative maintenance contract with Geesey Sheet Metal. It's who did all their HVAC in years past, and they were talking about big units with big parts, and that's what happens when you have a $14,000 evaporator coil part. So it's not exactly a welcomed expense, but one that we have to continue to keep the building cooled and operating well with their HVAC. I think he was a bit curious at the price and did test 2 other companies to see what these parts would cost, and Geesey did win this kind of test in a way of this contract. So the preventive maintenance contract gives the purchasing policy some test on this where it's below market cost for what you get on this evaporator coil. Arguably, we want to keep the building cool where it's not, being cooled presently. So Scott and I had to do some planning about where this money comes from in the YMCA CIP, to be totally clear with you. And there was about a $65,000 balance. I'm sorry, there was a $50,000 balance in the wellness equipment section, the fund that purchases treadmills, ellipticals, and these things. And it seems to be enough to cover this as the savings goes into it. So this is kind of one of those as-needed items that hit us. Not terribly pleased about it, but I do want to portray to you that we do have the funds and that it does have a pretty good price with it.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Alinger. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Okay, that one passes. Item I is a resolution awarding Fred and Sharon Drosty a downtown incentive facade grant in the amount of $4,685 upon verification of the completed work and final qualified costs.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Colister, seconded by Bennett. Any discussion? Then take the roll.
Colister.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item J is a resolution awarding a RISE counseling and consulting downtown, well, let me start over. A resolution awarding RISE, a counseling and consulting downtown incentives commercial interior grant in the amount of $1,631.43 upon verification of their completed work and qualifying costs.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Colister, seconded by Lyon. Did you have something you wanted to add, Josh?
A keen eye would be able to tell that the signage is currently up, and this motion's before the council now. The committee that did meet recommends this action and wanted to send the message and wants to always continue to send the message to the property owners downtown that run commercial businesses that were willing and wanting to help folks that want to get their business started, want to portray a good business. So we're always welcoming these applications, and it's the council's policy to follow at the end of the day. So this is one of those things that is very light in the ask, and they were going to open the business no matter what because they had to get going, and this is something that really would help them out. So it was recommended by them and before you tonight for approval, and I assume it will be submitted to us as quickly as possible here.
Okay. There's no further discussion. Take the roll.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
All right, that passes. Item K is a resolution approving change order number 6, increase to the amount of $3,892 submitted by Sheets Construction for the Sunshine Learning Center project. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The rest of the agenda was pretty much the back half of last week and people needing things immediately, and that's how this agenda grew. After I told you last week, or last meeting, that we were looking at some light agendas ahead. But the small change order here resulting in $3,892 for relocation of sinks and adding some door security in at Sunshine. Everyone that's involved with this is in concurrence that this is in the need category. I did put an up-to-date funding chart available in this agenda for you to take a look at, and just want to remind you that that $32,000 overage is Sunshine's to own at the end of the project. That's tied in a financial agreement with us. So,
So moved.
Okay, a motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Bennett, or Alinger. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Bennett.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. We'll move on to item I, which is a resolution approving Erig Works LLC at change order number 3, increase in the amount of $25,688 for construction and seating services on the Prairie Creek recreational project.
thank you, Mayor and Council. And this, if you haven't been out there to take a walk, I think it's pretty fascinating. And in fact, I can't drive a country road now without seeing a vertical bank that might produce some aggressive sediment runoff now. So I've been ruined forever in terms of watershed management because of this project. But as you know, this was about a $1.2 million construction project, and to end up just $2,000 short of that number is quite extraordinary to me. So it's very likely that Erig Works will be off-site and done with their project at that site at the end of next week, so as long as weather holds for them. This change order puts together just about their final one, and it might be the final one. The engineers have been pretty involved with this project with them since, and if you're asking how this comes out to this number, effectively this $25,000 number is prairie seeding that goes into the rest of the area and then captures large stormwater events. A lot of prairie seed goes down into the ground 4 to 6 feet when it's adult grown, so it's one of the best practices for stormwater runoff that you can do.
Okay. Any more discussion?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Bennett,
Second.
seconded by Alinger. And if there's no more, take the roll.
Simonson.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
That passes. Item M is a discussion and possible motion authorizing payment of pay app number 5 in the amount of $256,536.81 to Erig Works LLC for the Prairie Creek construction project.
moved.
Motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Lyon. Any discussion? Then take the roll.
Lyon,
Yes.
Hollister,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item N is a discussion and possible motion authorizing payment of pay app number 2 in the amount of $33,924.50 to Stickley Electric for the Maquoketa CBG lighting grant project.
So moved.
Motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Alinger. Anything you want to add?
This project is nearing 100% completion. The YMCA today was about finished. Hasn't been inspected yet, as CDBG folks haven't been here yet, but we're getting close to that point. So I fully expect that we'll be finished on this by the next council meeting.
Okay. If there's no more discussion, take the roll.
Hollister,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Simonson,
Abstain.
Lyon.
Yes.
Okay. Does that still pass?
Yeah.
Sure. All right, then that one passes. Item O is a discussion of possible motion authorizing payment of pay app number 1 in the amount of $54,925 to Sheets Construction for Glowick Community Park construction. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm thrilled to kind of present this bill to you in a way, and it's moving right along very well. And if it brings you any points of comfort about excavating that whole site out in 2008, the city did hire compaction testing like you'd see if you're buying a country house and wanted to put a foundation on it. And so stage area was certified and done very well and passed all compaction tests, and there's enough rebar on that thing that Sheets said you could build a skyscraper on it. So the restroom building on the southeast side needed just a couple extra feet of over excavation, not unlike our water treatment facility last year, and some road stone went back in today to help support that building. So just kind of wanted to give you an update on that project and let you know everything so far seems to be going well.
So moved.
Okay. Motion by Lyon,
Second.
seconded by Colister. If there's no discussion, take the roll.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Simonson,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Hollister.
Yes.
All right, that passes. Item P is a discussion and possible motion authorizing commission payments in the amount of $19,125 to CBRE Incorporated for real estate brokerage services. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. And so our Mississippi Valley Metals transaction did close, which is good. And looking forward to that site development over the next couple of years. So city had proceeds of about $318,000. Most of us know this through home transactions where 6% is paid somewhere. This was just not in the closing document. So we're bound by contract with CBRE Broker Services, and they helped assist the transaction to a close and continue to be helping for the development part of it. So a couple years we should see a shovel in the ground, and they're talking about having 10 to 20 employees out there and being able to produce tin roofs at larger scale.
Okay.
So moved.
Motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by
Alinger.
Alinger. If there's no more discussion, take the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Simonson,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Hollister.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
All right, that passes. Item 11 is closed session. Council may go into closed session under Iowa Code 21.51C to discuss strategies with legal counsel concerning matters presently in litigation.
So moved.
Over there.
Before there's any roll call vote, I'm Pat O'Connell, Lynch Dallas PC, City Attorneys. I will opine that I have reviewed the subject matter of this closed session, and I find it is lawful for us to go into closed session under the cited section 21.51C of the Iowa Code.
Motion to go into closed session.
Second.
Okay, motion by Colister, seconded by Lyon to go into closed session. Go ahead and take the roll.
Simonson,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Hollister.
Yes.
Alinger, Bennett.
Yes.
We're on to session, back in, regular session.
Make the motion to proceed as advised by legal counsel. So,
Okay, we have a motion by Lyon, seconded by Colister. Any discussion, take the roll.
Hollister.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Lyon.
yes.
Okay, that passed. We move on to item 13, which is report and communications. Do you have anything from any of the members of the council? How about the city manager?
Anticipated finish date, South Main and Summit intersection is June 3rd. June 3rd, so
All right.
if I'm a betting man, it's gonna be the week after June 3rd. But just want to give you that expectation. I asked this morning.
So what changed?
The retaining walls are going slower than expected. That's what we know of.
A week ago,
Yeah.
and now we're 2 weeks.
Yeah. No, I was on a run this weekend and noticed one of the walls finished, and I thought to myself, boy, I don't know, I better ask, and that's what they said, June 3rd this morning, and
I imagine it'll get pushed even more if we're getting all that, right? It's probably gonna get, yeah, over the next few days, probably gonna get pushed further back.
I was just telling the mayor before this meeting tonight, and it's something that's gonna come up eventually, but the area around Timber Drive, there's 70 acres for sale down that way. It's a mix of residential one zoning and an agriculture one. This is kind of southeast of the hospital. It was purchased by a local farmer, and so lots of rumors going around about it turning into a farm. Things just don't turn into a farm. It has to go before the Planning and Zoning Commission. There's a whole number of steps that need to occur before anything happens. It's hit my desk pretty hard by area residents, so I'm just giving you a warning that something like that could occur. Not the rezoning, but a phone call from someone, right?
Motion by Thomas, second by Ryan, adjourn, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Adjourn.